Meaning of polygraph. A polygraph, commonly known as lie detector, is a device used to measure and record physiological indicators such as blood pressure, pulse, respiration, and skin conductivity while a person is asked and answer a series of questions. It's often used as a tool in attempts to determine whether an individual is being truthful. The next meaning of polygraphy. Polygraphy refers to the practice or study of using polygraphs or lie detectors for the purpose of detecting deception or determining truthfulness. The second is personalities in development of deception, detection, and polygraph. John Augustus Larson invented the modern polygraph in 1921. Collaborated with Larson and further developed the polygraph by adding additional psychological measures. William Marston contributed to the development of systolic blood pressure test, which became an integral part of polygraph testing. Cliff Baxter conducted research on plants and polygraphy, proposing that plants could be connected to polygraph and response to human thoughts. David T. Lakin contribute significant to the understanding of polygraph testing and the limitation of its accuracy, particularly through his research on countermeasures to devise the polygraph. That's all.
Four major components of the analog polygraph. Number one is cardiograph or the cardiosphygmograph. Second is the galvanograph, and third is pneumograph, and the fourth is chemograph. First is cardiograph or the cardiosphygmograph. The cardiosphygmograph component is to record the changes in the blood pressure and pulse rate of the subject. It is composed of the blood pressure cuff assembly, sphygmomanometer or the BP, vent and resonance control and recording unit. Second is galvanograph. The galvanograph component records the skin resistance of the subject using a very small amount of electricity. It is composed of a finger electrode assembly, amplifier unit, and the galvanometer recorded unit. Third is pneumograph. The pneumograph component records the changes in breathing of the subject. It is made up of two units. The pneumograph assembly is composed of the rubber corrugated tube and beaded chain tubing. The pneumograph tube is attached to the chest area of the subject and is locked by a beaded chain. The pneumograph tube is around 10 inches long and one end of which sealed and the other end is connected to the instrument by a rather thick walled rubber tube considerably in diameter rather than the pneumograph tube itself. Fourth is chemograph. Chemograph component is a motor that pulls or drives the chart paper under the recording pen simultaneously at rate of 6 or to 12 inches per minute. Also has a chart of paper feed mechanism. Chart or polygrams refers to the composite record of the pneumograph, galvanograph, and the cardiosphygmograph tracing recorder from one series of questions. It should be noted that the chemograph is only for analog polygraph. The digital or computerized polygraphs does not have chemograph component. Instead, the tracing can be saved to the computer or can be directly printed using a computer printer. Also, the digital or computerized polygraphs using the different paper chart.
Other parts of analog polygraph machine. There are 6 parts of analog polygraph machine. First is pneumograph. This measures changes in breathing patterns. Second is galvanometer, also known as the skin conductance monitor. This measures the electrical resistance of the skin, or the electrodes are attached to the subject finger tips or palm, and any increase in sweat, which is a common response to stress or nervousness. The third is cardiograph. This tracks heart rate and blood pressure. It typically involves a blood pressure cuff placed around the subject arm. The fourth is stylus. Stylus is the part of the machine that records the data on a moving paper. The stylus moves in a response to change in the physiological responses, creating a graph that can be analyzed later. Question or response buttons. These are used by the examiner to mark when a question is asked and when the response is given. This helps the later analysis of the polygraph charts. Number 6 is the control question test or CQT chart. This is where the result of the polygraph tests are recorded. The chart includes a series of lines that moves a physiological responses changes. Next is types of polygraphs. First is analog instrument. Analog instrument, these are the traditional polygraph machines that include pneumograph, a galvanometer, and a cardiograph to measure physiological response like breathing patterns, skin conductivity, and rate heart. Second is computerized polygraph machine. The computerized polygraph machine, these are the modern versions of traditional polygraph. They use digital methods to record and analyze physiological responses. The third one is voice stress analysis. Voice stress analysis, not a polygraph machine in the traditional sense. From the voice stress analysis is sometimes mentioned in the same context. It is a method used to detect stress in a person's. Under the theory that stress can indicate lying. And the last one is the polygraph or the duplicating device. This is a different kind of polygraph and related to lie detection. Each device that simultaneously produce a copy of a piece of writing as the original is being written.
Good afternoon, sir. This is our assigned topic, general uses of polygraph and theory of polygraph examination. The general uses of polygraph is to test the value of truth. True lie detector evidences that can test the blood, pulse, respiration, and skin. And some examples are heart rate, blood pressure, respirations, and skin conductivity. Polygraph are useful tools to investigate. Theory of polygraph examination. Analytic theory that holds and change the empirical evidence basis polygraph testing, that examination called stimulation tests that can trigger you can lie or change your statement about happened in the crime.
The psychology of lying. Lying is a form of communication that involves two parties. The deceiver intends to communicate false impressions or communicate false impressions. or information. The deceived, however, must participate in the lie at least on some level. This is either by virtue of learned on some level. This is either by virtue of learned apathy, ignorance, bias, or overconfidence, varying mental infirmity, of course. Human beings are gullible for a number of reasons, including a general tendency to believe others are telling the truth, and to be cognitively overwhelmed and then irrationally convinced, and then by emotional arguments and displays. Consequently, allegations of crime laden with heavy emotion and more likely to believe irrespective of the facts and evidence. Given the prevalence of truth bias and the affect heuristic, especially in the presence of other factors that tend to increase overall gullible. Psychology of lying. Why do we lie? It allows us a person to establish perceive control over a situation by manipulating it. It's a defense mechanism that seemingly prevents them from being vulnerable, that is, to not open up and reveal their true feelings or true self to another person. Next one is the nervous system. In biology, the nervous system is the highly complex part of an animal that coordinates its actions and its sensory information by transmitting signals to and from different parts of its body. The nervous system is made up of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. It controls many aspects of what you think, how you feel, and what your body does. It allows you to do things such as walk, speak, swallow, breathe, and learn. It also controls how the body reacts in stressful situations. And the brain and spinal cord make up the central nervous system. The peripheral nervous system is comprised of the somatic and autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system transmits sensory and motor signals to and from the central nervous system. Thank you.